Hey, what is going on, everyone? Wherever it is that you're watching this from, I hope you're having a blessed day and that everything's going great with you. So today we're going to be talking about Bogota, um, my overall thoughts and impressions, having visited the city many times, countless memories, and spending time living in the city as well for extended periods. I thought I'd like to share my opinions and thoughts. What it's like to stay in the city, um, the overall feel and sort of atmosphere and treatment, and just in many different aspects as well that many people might be questioning. Firstly, yeah, Bogota, um, the capital of Colombia, of course. It's a mega city, so as you can imagine, it's huge. It can take a crazy amount of time to travel from different parts of the city to others. I mean, especially during the rush hours, it takes a long time. So if rush hours and heavy traffic is something that you're not too keen on, then obviously that's going to be an issue for you. But despite this, I mean, it's fascinating. I mean, Bogota is it's like a beautiful chaos. You know, there's just so much to do and see, so many things to do and explore and just experience. You really get that real, authentic, strong Colombian vibe. You know, that you might not get in other cities in the country if it's your first time. For example, if you're going to if you're going to Cartagena or Medellin, for example, um, two of the most popular destinations for first timers for sure. I mean, you can definitely get that, but I feel like here it's that real sort of chaotic, like big city feel that would perhaps be like New York City, you know. Um, so in that sense, yeah, it's a really different vibe, and it's one that I feel like if you come from a big city yourself and you love big cities, then it's definitely the right place for you for sure. And in that regards, it's definitely not as touristic as I think deserves to be, and perhaps you might think it is. Despite it being the capital, you know, people will pass through. You know, they'll transit. They'll have a couple of days layovers and whatnot. That's probably the reason why a lot of people would go through there and stay in the city. But I think that really undermines the potential and experience that you can really have in the city because, I mean, judging from my personal experience, I've had countless unforgettable memories with some of my closest friends and people that mean the most to me in the city. So honestly, it's a special place, and I think firstly a couple of misconceptions about the city that I'd like to address that I feel like are very important and people often get the wrong sort of impression of is that firstly the climate. Now the climate, it's you know, people say it's like cold, you know, as if it's like freezing cold, like if you're from Europe or parts of like Canada, North America. But honestly, it's not cold. Okay, it's cold at night. It can slightly get chilly, slightly cold, but I mean, it's a real sort of misjudgment. I mean, coming from Europe, you know, cold Europe, to say that this place is cold is a real understatement because it feels like I'm in a trip. I mean, it is. If you look at the geography of the city and the country, you know, right next to the equator. So despite its altitude of almost 3,000 meters, don't let that affect your impression of it being super cold because it's not. I mean, you can go around walking, you go to the gym or whatnot, you want to do some exercise, you can walk around with shorts and a t-shirt or a light jacket, you know, and it's fine. Don't have any problems with that at all. And in terms of going out, yeah, like some trousers, t-shirt. I mean, especially when the sun's out, you really feel the heat as well, despite the altitude and overall climate. So you can definitely get that big surprise when you first come here, you know, with the climate, thinking that it's really cold when it's really not. Especially during the winter time, well, which will be their summertime. It's like it's a huge difference. You can't even compare it in that regards. And yeah, just a light jacket, trousers, t-shirt, you're good to go really. No need to put any like sunscreen or mosquito repellent or any of that stuff. So it's perfect if you're coming from a cooler climate and you like that sort of cooler, more habitable sort of climate for living, like actual long-term living, then it's a great option for sure. most definitely. And secondly, the criminality and crime rate. It's very interesting, when you talk to Colombians and foreigners, well, specifically Colombians, they always have this sort of perception that the other big cities that they're not from are more dangerous than their own. It's like this big kind of like pride or like competition they have with other people from different cities, and people might say that people from Medellin would say that, oh, Bogota is like crazy, it's more dangerous and so forth. People from Bogota would say this about Medellin, or people from Bogota might say Cali is super dangerous. So I mean, it all comes down to perspective, but from my personal experience, thankfully I've never had any problems with crimes or anything, not just in Colombia but anywhere in the world. I've never suffered from any severe sort of like criminal issues, thank God. So I've never suffered from this, but that's not to say that it can't happen. It always can happen. I think if you just have common sense, do your homework. Like no matter where you are in the world, 90% of places will have good places and bad places. So if you just do your homework, really put some time into researching the good places, the proximity to the best places to stay and whatnot, then it's fine. To be honest, as long as you just have some common sense, don't act stupid, respect the territory, respect the code of the place, and you'll have no problems. You'll only have an amazing, great time. So that's definitely for sure. And in regards to the level of how dangerous Bogota is, I mean, there was a list of, I believe it was this year, of the 200 most dangerous cities in the world, and Bogota wasn't in that list. Only two cities in Colombia were in that list, which were, I believe, Cali and Cúcuta, which is on the border of Venezuela. So there's a real big misconception. I mean, this is not anything new. I mean, Colombia's been has been a popular upcoming destination for a lot of expats and tourists and travelers for sure in the last 10 years. But of course, there's still way more room and growth yet to be reached, of course. But those misconceptions are still very strong with a lot of people that still haven't been there. So yeah, so just to keep in mind, it's not as dangerous as what people make it out to be. There are places that you shouldn't definitely go for sure, especially if you're by yourself. But as long as you're staying in like the central northern parts of the city, these are the more affluent, higher level, higher socioeconomic areas. So definitely you should stay in one of these areas for your stay in the city. So yeah, stay in the right places, mix with the right people, mix with the local people more importantly as well, and your experience will be ever so enriching and powerful and life-changing for sure, like it was for me. So in that regards, yeah, just do your homework, know where you're staying. If you have friends, link up with them, they'll show you around, and then you'll feel like you're at home really. And yeah, I mean, when you arrive at the airport, like even they say, on the sign of the immigration, welcome to the most welcoming country on earth. And it's true, the people are the most welcoming, friendly, and just warm people you'll probably ever meet in your life. I mean, it's truly life-changing. It's something else for real. I mean, the treatment you receive as a foreigner with the right intentions and open mind, you expand your horizons to extents that you never thought were possible, and you see life in a different way, and mentalities and ways of living that you didn't even think existed before. So it really opens up your mind and changes your perspective on just the world in general, to be honest. It really is remarkable. And yeah, and a lot of that has come down to this city. I mean, the nightlife, I think the food is definitely one of the highlights of the city. I mean, the diversity and options for cuisine and just different types of food domestically from the country. All people from all parts of the country, immigrate and move and live in Bogota. So you'll find people from all corners of the country in that city. So definitely a good option for a variety of foods to really get that sort of Colombian feel and option of cuisine, which is incredible. Another thing that I feel like is super underappreciated is the cuisine of the country. I mean, just all of the naturally rich foods, fish, meats, uh, most exotic collections of fruits you ever see in your life. So it's super underappreciated, underrated. People saying because there's no people saying because there's no like spice sort of foods and hasn't got supposedly any flavor, which is the biggest lie ever. I mean, people often make like comparisons of Mexican food, but Mexican food is just with a lot more spice, a lot more how could I say it? Additional things added to the food that makes it a lot more richer and perhaps not as healthy in certain extents, and you probably won't thank yourself afterwards if you have any problems eating the food afterwards as well. So it's amazing. It's rich. It's exotic. It's full of life, flavor, the culture, the people, everything of the city is incredible. And yeah, I couldn't recommend the city enough. Super underappreciated and has everything for living, for short stays, for fun, nature, um, diversity of landscapes. It's the place to be. So I couldn't recommend it high enough. And yeah, that's all I've got to say about Bogota. And yeah, peace, love to everyone.